The midterms are over, or are they over? In the last two Senate races we thought were going to the GOP, they seemed to win on election night. I'm talking about Florida. I'm talking about Arizona. Thousands of uncounted ballots keep popping up, though, mostly in the Democratic-leaning areas. What is going on here, and why are these elections still up in the air? Senator Marco Rubio's had it. He's tweeted about it, saying this: Democrat lawyers are descending on Florida. They've been very clear they aren't there to make sure that every vote is counted. They are here to change the results of the election, and Broward County is where they plan to do it. Senator Marco Rubio joins us right now. Senator, what makes you think that?
Their words. They held a press conference and said that we're not here to just have a recount, we're here to win. And look, we have procedures in the law for close elections and recounts. I have no problem with any of that. I have no problem with anyone availing themselves of what the law allows them to do. Here's my problem. My problem is this is focused on two counties, and in particular one county. So let me use an example. Bay County, Florida, where Panama City is, was hit by a Category 4 hurricane about 4 weeks to the day of this election. They were without power. You guys covered all this. They did all their ballots at a 52% return rate, 52% turnout despite the hurricane. They did all their ballots, submitted them on time. They were done basically on election night early the following morning, very early. Broward County, 48 hours later, is still counting. And they didn't have a Category 4 hurricane, and it's not the first time that they do this. Problem number one. Problem number two is we don't know how many votes they have, and neither do they. Either they don't know or they won't tell anybody how many ballots are left to count, and so forth. And so it's concerning when you go to sleep at 3 a.m. on Wednesday morning after the election, and, for example, Rick Scott is up by 60,000 votes, 54,000 votes, whatever it was. Today is at 17,000. And the only counties that are still reporting are Palm Beach and Broward,
right?
Who have a history, by the way, on these things. Broward County lost a lawsuit to the Republican Party a while back because they were opening up absentee ballots and beginning to count them before they were supposed to. Okay, Broward County in August of this year, in Broward County, right, mysteriously, or I should just say, let me not use that term, 5,000 mail ballots appeared all of a sudden at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night of the election. Then it actually grew to 9,000. When they were done counting those, a school board race that involved Ryan Petty, one of the Parkland fathers that was challenging a school board member, suddenly the incumbent was able to barely, but she did, avoid a runoff. A judge race flipped at a 400-vote margin after these 9,000 votes appeared. So this is a pattern of, at a minimum, incompetence, and it's embarrassing to the state. Voters deserve better. This is not even a partisan thing. This is a county that apparently cannot count votes, as well as a county that just got wiped out by a hurricane.
No matter what happens, you have a sitting governor up for this election, and Marco Rubio, you've been there. You should straighten this out. Brenda Snipes illegally destroyed ballots in 2016. She's still in charge. Now they can't count the ballots. They're supposed to have it up 30 minutes after elections closes. It's still not done. So I just talked to Governor Scott's office. He has a presser tonight, and he says they understand there's got to be a recount, an automatic recount, first by machine. If it's still close, then by hand. Now we understand that Andrew Gillum says it looks like he is going to retract his concession, and he's going to look for a recount there as the vote's beginning to close as well.
Yeah, look, the recount is fine. The law provides for that. In the case of the governor's race and Gillum and DeSantis, they're going to take the ballots and feed them back in the machine and make sure the machine is accurately reflecting them. In the case of the Senate campaign, they're going to manually recount these ballots. And what that means is they're only going to manually recount undervotes and overvotes, meaning ballots that voted for more than one candidate or ballots that did not vote for any candidate. And they're going to look at it and see, was there a marking that showed a voter's intent? Now, it has to be consistent throughout the ballot. So if you put an X in the circle, you got to have put an X in all the circles. You can't just do it for one race. But that's where the lawyers get involved. That's where the fights begin to happen. And that's where we have seen races in the past suddenly turn. My problem is, if this was something we were seeing in multiple counties, it's in one county, and it happens to be a very Democratic county. Look, people have a right to be concerned about it.
Senator, real quick, Mark Elias is coming in. He's a Clinton attorney. And guess what? Works for Perkins Coie. And guess what? They hired Fusion GPS, who hired Christopher Steele. We're back in the dossier conversation. Mark Elias is back in our lives as a country. The Clinton lawyers are here, and they're going to start putting a lawsuit together that the Senate vote, the punch for the Senate, was way on the bottom of the ballot, separate, making it hard for people to vote. So they're going to challenge this legally, along with the recounts, along with the ballots. We might have another mess in Florida, but you're at least standing up ahead of time instead of talking about it in the aftermath. Crazy. Senator Marco Rubio, thanks so much.
Thank you.